Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Walaikum salam.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Anyone? Okay, walaikum salam. I think someone can hear me. So we'll just give it a few minutes before we start. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. I see some are new students, so just going to introduce myself. My name is Shahriyar Bashir. I am one of the instructors at Al-Ihsan Institute. I graduated from Darul Bury in UK, but I also studied at Al-Ihsan Institute myself. My bachelor's here, my master's there. And I've been teaching here ever since we graduated. So that's me. Okay, and so brother Fatah, I know Fatah, and sister Nadia, and brother, is it brother or sister? Is it Nikhil? Nikhil? I know there's Nakhil, date palm tree.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam. So what's your full name, brother?
Nikhil Bhalla.
Okay, Nikhil Balla. Okay, are you from Surrey?
Yes, sir.
Okay, mashallah. Whereabouts in Surrey?
I'm to the 60th Avenue, close to Newton.
You're close to Newton. Which masjid?
Yes. There is a masjid here. I don't remember the name. It's in close to the King George.
King George
Close to the
is
gas
62nd?
station. Yeah, the gas station. Yeah. I
And
used
you
to
never
go to.
see there?
No, I used to actually go in the Guildford Musalla.
Okay.
Yeah, with Mr. Sami, with Mr. Sheikh Sami.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the one
Sheikh
who, so he's the one who's give me the direction of that masjid because it was closer to my house.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you'll see me there on Fridays and
okay,
on a daily basis.
that's
Yeah.
that's nice. So I can.
Okay. Welcome to the course.
Yes.
Inshallah. Nice to know that you're from the neighborhood. And then
Yes.
we have Sister Nadia. Are you from Surrey as well?
Yes, brother. I live near King George Station.
King George Station. Also, you're close to Masjid Noor.
Yeah, but we go for Masjid Huda.
Masjid Huda. Yeah, so you're in between.
Yeah, in
Okay.
between.
Masjid Huda, there's Sheikh Khalid there, Khalid Sidat there.
Yeah, my
Okay.
kids goes for the madrasa there too.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So welcome to the course. MashaAllah.
Jazakallah.
And then we have Sister Samira. Samira.
Yes, alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you, sister?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
So are you local as well?
No, I'm actually from Ontario.
Ontario. Wow. Wow. So it's quite late for you there.
But I'm not in Ontario at the moment. So I'm outside of the country right now. And I thought it'd be a
Wow.
great opportunity to take this course. I know Mufti Asim for
A
a
for
very, very,
effort.
very long
First of
time.
all, I congratulate you for attending class, even though you're on a trip somewhere. I really appreciate it. And we're in Ontario, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, so I'm from the Durham region, so close to where Mufti Asim was when he was studying there. My brother went to school there as well.
Ajax.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, mashallah. So I think when Nabil used to be there, I'm not sure if he's still there, but there's like a whole bunch
Yes,
of
he
scholars.
is.
So I'm not gonna
Yeah,
name any. There's so
yeah,
many there, mashallah.
yeah.
Okay,
There's a lot
alhamdulillah.
there. Yeah. My time
Alhamdulillah.
zone right now is after Fajr. So
Wow. Like, what are you in, like Saudi Arabia or something?
no, but I think similar time zone to Saudi. I'm in Mauritius at the moment.
Oh, mashallah, Mauritius. Okay. Do you know Sheikh Osman and then the family? He's also from Mauritius. Khair. Okay, I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that. Okay. Well, welcome to the course. Just want to introduce myself and get a bit of introduction from the students so I know where people are attending class. So we have brother Hashif or Hashif. How do you pronounce your name, brother?
Hashif. Assalamu alaikum.
Hashif, mashallah, alaikum salam. How are you?
I'm doing good, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So where are you attending class from?
BC.
BC, mashallah.
Yeah.
Where?
Vancouver.
Vancouver. Also
Yeah.
in a local time, mashallah. Okay. Vancouver, Vancouver or one of the suburb cities?
No, Vancouver. Fraser Street, actually.
Fraser. Okay, mashallah.
Yeah.
So you're close to Fraser Musalla, basically,
Yeah.
there.
Very
Okay.
close to Fraser Musalla.
And then Arkham Foundation down the road. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
exactly. Yeah, Arkham Foundation. That's it.
Mashallah, mashallah. Welcome to the course.
Yeah.
And then we have brother Daniel Osmani. Are you with us? Okay. And brother
Yeah,
Omar.
assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Okay, brother Daniel, Sheikh, how are you? Good?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good.
Alhamdulillah. So brother Daniel, this is your first course, I believe, right?
I finished the Sira comprehensive course as well.
Okay. You probably like. I guess you never attended. Did you ever attend in person or online class, or were you like lecture?
I have
Used to
attended
listen
a
afterwards?
few times in
Few
person.
times. My class as well?
Yeah, yours as well.
Oh my God. I feel so bad now. Did you? Okay, so we met in person.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Mashallah, mashallah. Okay, so where are you from? Vancouver, sorry.
I'm in Surrey. I live only 10 minutes away from the Al-Ihsan Foundation.
Oh no, did you take Arabic course as well?
No, just the Sira course.
Just a Sierra course. Okay. Well, I want to get I want to put a picture to your face if I see you next, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay, and then we have brother Omar. Brother Omar, I know him. Most of you guys probably know him as well. And brother Omar is our Islamic school teacher as well. An activist, basically. He's a sheikh. Doesn't like when I call him sheikh.
Flattering me too much. You're flattering me too much, Chef. Jazakallah. I don't think I'm that popular, but
Alhamdulillah. I didn't know you're enrolled in this course, so nice to have you there.
I gotta be. I'm trying to. MashaAllah, it's not every day you get to learn, fiqh from qualified scholars. Allahumma zid wa barik. So, alhamdulillah, at this schedule too, right? So it's really
Yeah.
convenient.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Welcome back to the course.
Jazakallah khair.
Okay, so I'm just gonna turn my video off so it's easier for me to share my screen that way. So for most of you, have you guys downloaded your book? I'm assuming you have, right? Because you guys attended class for 2 days with Sheikh Taha. Yes. So I will be teaching both classes this week. I'm normally supposed to teach on Thursdays, right? That's my designated day. But when I travel, then I get Sheikh Taha to teach. And when he travels, I teach. And we cover each other's classes like that. And so this class is mainly, as I think you guys have already done the introduction, what fiqh means, and you know, whether it's haram, makruh, makruh, tahrimi, all of that you guys have covered. So I'm not going to get into discussions of that. My job is first to go over tahara with you guys. And then the main discussions that we will be having, the reason why there's no slides, we're still debating whether we should have slides or not. That's because every single point that is mentioned in your book, it is absolutely important. So, and then I will read it, or someone else can read it, and then I'll explain it. But in Tahara, let me just share the screen first. Okay, so in Tahara, in fiqh, you know, a lot of this book, the way it was written and designed, is that a lot of its point format to simplify everything for you guys. So it gets dry sometimes, and there's not a lot of explanation needed for some of the points. But just because there's no explanation, because they're self-explanatory, it doesn't mean that they're not important. They're really important. So I want you guys to absolutely memorize all of this stuff, because the reason why I say memorize is because they're integral part of our devotional acts and commandments. It's not like a discussion of a seerah where even if you don't know anything by heart, you can still get away with it. But here you have to know. When I say by heart, meaning I just need you to know the fara'id. For example, like fara'id al-wudu, you must know the fara'id al-wudu by heart, right? And then you must know the fara'id of salah, like ahkam of salah, what's fard in salah, something that you have to know by heart. There's no choice in this. And if you feel like you're not good at memorizing, like come up with ways of memorizing this stuff, right? If you don't know the fard of salah, and if you miss it, right, that means your salah is incomplete. If you don't know the fara'id of wudu, and if you miss a fard of wudu and your wudu is incomplete, that means your salah is incomplete and you're not even allowed to touch the Quran, right? So it can lead to sins. So that's why it's important that you must know the fara'id of each ahkam that we're going to cover here. You should know it by heart. And if I ask you spontaneously, hey, Brother Umar, tell me the fara'id of salah. And then if you follow different madhab other than Ahnaf, then I will ask you to tell me fara'id according to your fiqh that you follow. For example, if somebody's Maliki and Hanbali, I will tell them what the fara'id are, right? If they don't know them, and then I will ask them about the fara'id in their madhab. So for those who are Ahnaf, most of the time, majority of the students are. So I will ask you guys on the spot, basically like a week or two into the course. I'll be like, okay, tell me the fara'id of wudu. Okay, tell me the fara'id of salah. Okay, tell me the fara'id of som. Tell me the fara'id of hajj. Like when we get to those parts, inshallah. Am I clear with regards to how I'm going to teach this course? Okay. And then you guys have those forum discussions and the questions that you're supposed to do. I'll post them. Next week, I will just highlight all of the questions that you have to do. And then I won't be posting questions every week. that, okay, do question 1, do question 2. I'm just going to give them all at once, and then you guys can do them according to the week that they're in. Okay, makes sense? Not this week, but next week. My questions start next week after I explain to you in class, okay? Fair enough. And then I want to mention that you should reach out to me, and you're allowed to reach out to me through an email, right? Not through a phone call or message. I don't reply to students' WhatsApp messages unless it's something that has to do with like it's a personal problem or something like that. That's not related to the course that I'm teaching. Then if I feel that I should help you out, I will, right? For anything course related, it has to be through an email. Like I'm going to share my email here. It's available on the website as well. It's basically sp@ihsan.ca, right? Let me see.
السلام عليكم شيخنا.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
لا نرى وجهك الكريم.
Oh, mashallah, look at that. I like it, Arabic. Just that my Wi-Fi is a little slow. So if I share the screen and my video, my voice is gonna cut. So I had it on before you came. I just turned it off. Okay, so that's my email address, folks. You should write it down. Email me with regards to anything, any issues you're falling behind. I will create a lesson plan for you where you can catch up. Please do not hesitate. I feel that a lot of students they just kind of give up. I don't want you to do that, right? I want you to communicate with me, email me with regards to any issues that you have with regarding the course, or if you don't understand anything, you must, and we can set a time. You can ask me to book an appointment. I'll give you time. I'll make time, and then we can set a time to have a phone conversation too, however you feel comfortable. But email me. The first step is to email me. Okay, clear? This email address is there, so I'm just gonna get rid of it from here.
شيخنا.
Yes.
Sheikh Taha said that he's going to, and the WhatsApp group will be enabled for participants also, so we can. So when is that going to happen?
So WhatsApp group, the main purpose of the WhatsApp group is just to inform you guys. Like if, for example, if Asr Salah has come in, I will tell you that we will start class after Asr Salah or something like that. But with regards to course code, like whenever they create that, you and me will get added at the same time, right? I don't deal with that stuff. I don't create that stuff. I have too much on my plate, so I don't get involved. But whether we have WhatsApp group or not, email will be like you should communicate with me through an email, like if you have any course issues. WhatsApp is like a last minute change, or if I'm running late, or if I'm having technical difficulties, I'll keep you guys posted, right? But that's not for like a two-way conversation. It's just simply like ask and tell with regards to like technical difficulties, a last minute issue that has come up, right? And or like if I missed something or concept I want to share with you guys, I'll share it on WhatsApp. But I hardly do that. You guys know, like last term, I did not share any teaching material on WhatsApp. But if I want to share like an extra PDF or a book, something like that, and then I'll share that on WhatsApp. Okay. But I'll tell Sheikh how to create one for this class. Oh yeah, like anything that's course related, it's already up on Moodle. Like if I feel that the class needs something extra, like a YouTube link or something like that, or like an audio or a video or something like that, I'm just gonna share that in WhatsApp. If you're not in the WhatsApp group and you don't want to be in it, right, then you gotta let me know. So then I'll email you as well. But like normally I just share that link immediately after class into the WhatsApp group. We talk about it and I share in the group. That's how it normally works. But if you're not in the WhatsApp group, you got to let me know, because then I have no way of knowing whether you are part of the WhatsApp group or not. Okay. When they create that, I'll start using it. If they don't create it, I won't use it. Okay, khalas. Any other questions or concerns before we start, before we commence, before we do Bismillah for this blessed course? Nothing? All right, نبدأ بعون الله إن شاء الله. الحمد لله الحمد لله حمدا طيبا مباركا فيه وباركا عليه كما يحب ربنا ذو الجلال وما نواله والصلاة والسلام على سيدي حبيب المصطفى وعلى آله وصحبه نجوم الهدى قادة أما بعد. The first chapter that we will discuss, it's called Kitab al-Tahara. So if you look at any of the books of ahadith, for example, Sahih al-Bukhari, they always have their chapters are called kitab and sections are called bab, right? So for example, Imam Bukhari rahimahullah ta'ala will say Kitab al-Tahara, and then in Kitab al-Tahara he'll say Bab al-Wudu, something like that. So their chapters are not like the chapters in that normally we see in the textbooks, right? They're very different because all of this stuff has been translated from Arabic into English. In Arabic, when they refer to a chapter, they call it kitab, and that has a very different structure, right? So chapter, when it's been in the textbook and a novel, is very different than the chapter which is in the books of hadith and in the books of fiqh. I just want you guys to understand that, okay? So the main discussion is Kitab al-Tahara is Tahara in this kitab. And for the sake of our understanding, we just call it chapter, okay? Lesson 1, this is for the sake of our understanding. An actual book, it's called Bab, Babul Ma, okay? The section of water. And then here, most of the time in hadith book, fiqh book, they will always try to start off with an ayah of the Quran that is pertaining to the chapter or bab, either kitab or bab, and then also throw in a hadith as a preface for the discussion that is to follow, okay? And here, same thing, Allah Ta'ala loved the clean and the pure people. Right? And then at-taharatun nisful iman, like purification is half of iman or half of faith. So tahara in Arabic language is the basically foundation of all worships. Any type of worship you can think of, it always involves tahara, especially ahkam, right? Devotional acts that we carry out. But for example, like salah, without tahara you cannot perform salah. Or if you want to touch the Quran, without tahara you're not allowed to touch the Quran. So linguistically speaking, in this chapter, whenever I introduce or whenever we talk about a technical word, I will always give you, this book will always give you a linguistic meaning of it and technical meaning of it. But we just have to make sure you guys are responsible for the technical meaning more than you're responsible for the linguistic meaning, like in terms of like knowing what it is, right? Tahara, pretty common, pretty standard, means purity or cleanliness. But Islamically, tahara means two things. Okay, I will say the original Arabic term for it because the English is mentioned. Your job is not to know the Arabic one, but your job is at least to know the English part of it, okay? But I want to use the Arabic so at least you're familiar with the sound of it. Because this is not an Arabic class, and most of you guys have not taken Arabic course with us, so hence why we omitted the Arabic terms from it, and we just kept the English in it. Okay. So tahara from ritual impurity, which is called najasatul ghalidha. Okay. And then tahara from physical impurity, which is called actual purification. Okay. So we have ritual impurity and we have physical impurity. Tahara that we need to have is from both of these type of impurities. Ritual impurity, for example, someone who passes gas, his wudu breaks. Okay. Someone who answers the call of nature, meaning he defecates or urinates, then this person has to clean the physical impurity, which was a result of him answering the call of nature. And then it was on his body, he has to clean. So now the person got rid of the physical impurity. The next step is to get rid of the ritual impurity, which the person, meaning he does not have wudu because he just used washroom. Now he has to gain that, okay?
Shaykhuna,
Yes.
what's the Arabic word for the physical impurity?
Hakikiya, okay, and ghayr hakikiya. You can understand it in that, in
So
that sense.
ritual impurity is ghaliza, najasatul ghaliza.
No. Let me say that again. Ritual impurity is ghayr hakiki, and physical impurity is hakiki. Okay.
Okay, then what is ghaliza and khafifa?
They will come up. I just said them too soon. Yeah. Okay. So tahara from ritual impurities, the example I gave, somebody passes wind, can be achieved through wudu, ghusl, or tayammum. Keep this in mind, right? Main things. If the question asks you in exam, like how can you attain tahara from ritual impurities? And these are the 3 ways that you can attain it through ritual impurities: wudu, ghusl, or tayammum. Okay. Tahara from physical impurities can be attained by removal of the impurity. Number 1, you have to get rid of the impurity. That's given. But through using which means though? Yes, pure water. Just keep in mind the term that is being used is pure water. When we discuss the types of water, it will come up. Okay. Clean soil, rocks, or tanning. Tanning meaning burning something, etc. We'll talk about all of these at their given place, inshallah. But you should know that this is using these we can attain purification. Okay. And then the first one we're talking about is water. So what type of water? Now it's really important that we keep this in mind, right? For example, if somebody asks you guys, like, okay, can I use juice to make wudu? So what would you guys' answer would be? I just want to know before we actually study this. So if somebody says, can I use apple juice to make wudu? What would you guys say to that? Anyone?
That actually, Shaykhuna, came into my mind a few years ago. That is water a must, or could it be done with, any juice or anything? But then I just couldn't answer it because of my jahal.
Okay. So yeah, you're pretty straightforward. Okay, okay, so someone said no, because it's not water, it's mixed. Okay. So I will discuss the qualities that the water needs to have. If some of those qualities are missing, then you cannot perform wudu. If it has some of those qualities, then you're allowed to make wudu. Simple. Okay, let's do this. Plain water. What's plain water? Okay. Definition of plain water, basically they're saying that it retains its natural qualities, is not mixed with any physical impurity, is not overcome by any other substance, and has not been previously used for tahara. Keep this one in mind. This highlighted area is really important. Okay. What does it mean that it has not been used previously for tahara? For example, if you make wudu and you collected your water of wudu, you cannot make wudu with that collected used water wudu. Do you guys understand? Somebody has taken ghusl to gain tahara, and if you collect that water and use it again to make wudu, you're not allowed to do so.
So, Shaykhun, is that because it says somewhere in Hadith or Quran, or is this just qiyas, or is it coming from?
Or I will throw adillas at you for all of these things. We have hadiths for every single point here.
The
But,
musta'mal, ma musta'mal, right?
yes, ma al musta'mal, basically. Hey, where'd you learn that? Did you learn that somewhere?
Here and there.
Okay.
But then
Yeah,
I
that's the
had
term we use.
drops over the
Al-ma.
years of the ilm. Then that led
Okay.
me to more thirst, and now I'm here.
Okay, mashallah. Yeah, al-ma al-musta'mal.
The question is, will you
So-
be able to quench my thirst with the plain water?
I have no water. You've come to a dry well, brother.
Plain water of ilm.
Okay. So used water for tahara cannot be used for tahara again. Right? We will talk about, if I feel that I should give you adillas for everything, I will, but this course is overwhelming already. We were still debating whether we should give you hadith for every single point or not, because maybe we'll think. I'm still thinking about it. Okay.
Sorry, Sheikh, I just want to be clear here, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So if somebody makes wudu, you can't use the same wudu to make wudu again. Same water.
So somebody made wudu and you collected that wudu water, which
Yeah.
came off the body into a utensil, you cannot use that used water to make wudu.
You cannot.
You cannot.
Okay. Now,
Even if it's a place where there is a lack of water, you cannot use it. You have to make tayammum.
I'm sorry, if there is one.
Some African places, they barely have water. So if they cannot even do this, they have to make tayammum.
Oh yeah, look, so I mentioned here three ways to get tahara, right? Wudu, ghusl, or tayammum.
Okay.
Right? So in the case where there's absence of water, we will talk about all, like what you just asked, it will come up, like the conditions and requisites of doing tayammum, like the access to water, how far do you have to view water, all this stuff will come one by one, inshallah. Right now, today, our focus will be on the types of water and the qualities that the water has, okay? So retains its natural qualities and is not mixed with any physical impurity, right? And is not overcome by any other substance. Just keep that in mind. Now they tell you, when we say plain water, what does that plain water mean? So anything from the sky, water from the wells, ocean, rivers, streams, melted snow, melted hail, like sky and rainwater. If you collect it, it's plain water. Sharia regards it as plain water. Whether you can drink it or not, that's a different story, okay? So do not be confused with drinkable water and plain water. You guys understand? Okay. So these categories, 7 types of water are called plain waters. Okay, moving on. And then the types of water and their status. Water will, with respect to its being suitable for purification or not being suitable for purification, is divided into 5 types. Okay, this is important. You should know this, inshallah. You will know this, you'll master this, inshallah. So first is pure and purifying. Okay, for those who understand Arabic, tahir and mutahhir. It's tahir and mutahhir. water is pure and it has the qualities of purifying something else as well. So plain water, it's pure in itself and it has the quality of purifying something else. Okay, simple. So brother Umar, tahir, muttahir. This water is called ghair makruh. This is called non-detestable water. Okay. Type 2, pure, purifying, but it is reprehensible, meaning it's makruh. What does that mean? For example, the water from which a cat or chicken or bird or anything or snake, something like that, has consumed some portion of it. So this type of water is not impure, but it's not light, right, to do wudu with this type of water or ghusl. Okay, and this is not makruh tahrimi, meaning it's not at the level of being haram, it's the level of being detestable. It's not liked by Sharia that you use such type of water.
Shaykhuna, what is a bird of prey?
Like a predatory animal, okay, a predatory bird. So for example, if you have a fox, or if you have even like a hunting dog or something like that, right? Not the dog, hunting dog, there's different category. We will, like, I'm not sure if this book will discuss each and every different categories of what type of birds and animals are pure, meaning their saliva is pure, but just so you get a general idea, and just always keep the cat in mind. Okay.
Like the bird of prey means the bird is the prey or the bird gets prey? That's what I'm trying to
No, the
understand.
bird that preys.
Oh,
The
the
bird that
bird catches prey. Okay.
like a crow, like a sea, like a hawk, or like a the eagle.
Okay, shukran.
Okay. So this, what you need to keep in mind, that when water is consumed by these birds, right, or this species, then this water becomes makruh, meaning it becomes disliked in Sharia to use it for wudu. Okay. But keep in mind that there is no, it's not makruh at tanzihi in case you don't have access to natural plain water. Okay, in that case it won't be. But the case that you don't have access, you have access, in that case it will be makruh tanzihi. But just keep this in mind. Ghair makruh water is that water which is plain water, untouched water. And makruh water is in which a cat drinks from. Okay. Liked and disliked water for use of wudu. And type 3, this is pure water, but it's doubtful. It's called mashkuk, right? It's doubtful. What does that mean? What's a doubtful water? Doubtful water from, like, a donkey or mule has consumed water from it. The water in itself, it's pure. That's without a doubt. It does not become impure because donkey is not the saliva of donkey. I'm not going to say it. We'll just open a can of worms. But if a donkey or mule or horse, anything of that sort, drinks from the water does not become impure, right? But it becomes doubtful, especially with regards to donkey. Okay. The question is, if donkey uses or consumes from the pond, or like a little, like a vessel or something like that, can you use that water for wudu or not? In this, there's a little bit of discussion. Okay. But the result of it, they say that if the one intending wudu cannot find any other water, he will make wudu and tayammum. Okay, this doubtful water. And he has the option, he make wudu first, then tayammum, or vice versa. It's up to him. So whenever you come across doubtful water, meaning from which, if there is an animal, a non-halal animal has consumed water from it, like when it comes to pig, the whole water becomes haram. Okay, we're talking about halal animal, not for like consuming purposes. Okay, but just that Sharia regards them as to be halal animal. So the only impure and impermissible animal is swine, pig, right? That's absolutely haram in every shape and form. Apart from that, there's always discussion. So if a mule drinks from it, it becomes doubtful water. And in case if you have to use a doubtful water, then you always have to couple it with tayammum before or after. That's your choice. Okay.
Shaykhuna,
Yes.
what if like a pig drinks from a large body of water, like a lake, big lake?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's so many like discussions with regards to we will get to that inshallah. Okay. We will talk about it if the impurity falls into pure water, what is the hukm of it, and what, like how much quantity of the water is taken into consideration. All of that will come up inshallah. So pure and non-purifying water. Tahir, غير مطهر. So for example, used water. الماء المستعمل. So used water, it's pure water, there's no doubt, but it is unsuitable for purification and it cannot be used for wudu. Okay. Here's a question though. Not a question, a scenario. If a person who's already in the state of wudu performed wudu, right, to cool off or teach someone else wudu, the water will not become used as per se, according to Sharia. Okay. But if a person in a state of ritual impurity performs wudu to cool off or to teach someone else, the water will become used. Right. So if you already have wudu and then you make wudu on top of wudu, that second wudu water will not be rendered as ma'ul musta'mal, given that you're doing it for teaching purposes, or in summer, in a hot summer day, you're doing it to cool your body down. So what you need to keep in mind is that water becomes used when water parts from the limbs of the body of the one of the person who's performing wudu or taking a bath. Any questions so far?
Shaykhuna, like for number 4,
Mhm.
it says it's not suitable for wudu, but it's pure. So what is it pure in regards to? Drinking or?
So for example, if you not drink, like if it gets on your body, it doesn't make your body impure. It doesn't make your clothes impure, right? Because it's not impure in its nature.
No, but at that point, it's not used anyways. When it falls off the limbs, then it becomes an musta'mal, right?
Yeah, it has to, obviously it has to come off your limbs.
Okay.
Sheikh, I just had a question regarding al-ma' al-mustamil.
Sure.
So I have heard that it is permissible and actually from the sunnah to take a ghusl. You can do ghusl with your spouse. So is that
Yeah.
different here because you're not using the same water to do a ghusl on 2 different people? So is that a different hukum? Like a different
So
rule?
the hadith that talks about performing wusul with your spouse is based with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Aisha radiallahu anha. They used to perform wudu together, but what that means is that they used to share a vessel together from which they used to draw the water out, right? So they used to scoop it and then pour it on the body. So but then that water we used to accumulate, and wherever they were sitting, I remember they used to take a bath in a way that their satar aura, or like the private parts, were not exposed to each other, right? And I want to mention this because a lot of people get confused. And then when they used to take water, and it used to accumulate on the ground. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Aisha radhiyallahu anha, they used to move from that place and then pour water on the feet and then and the lower part of the body to remove the used water which used to be on the body, right? Because in that way the ghusl was not complete. So they used to like step away and pour water over. And that's the hadith and dalil that we use. The ma'al musta'mal cannot be used to gain tahara. That's the details of the question which you just asked.
So it's not really the same water being used. It's like they're doing it at the same time out of the same vessel, but different water is actually being used.
Like you're just pouring it in, on yourself.
Yeah.
But you're drawing it from the same, like, because they did not have modern tubs the way we do, right?
Yeah.
Where you put it in. So we're not talking about a tub shower or bath or something like that.
Yeah.
Meaning that they had a vessel and they both used to take shower from the same vessel at the same time, not in the vessel, outside the vessel.
Okay.
But if the husband and wife are taking the bath together, if there is no aura, is that fine?
I mean, technically speaking, yeah, it's fine. But from the haya aspect, it's not fine, right? We're not supposed to be, if your husband and wife is not really encouraged. I'm not going to say you're discouraged, but you're not really encouraged to look at the private parts.
Okay.
Yeah. And okay, because Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's private parts were never looked at by anyone. Okay.
Yeah, because he was at the highest level of piety.
So, like even in Sahaba, like Usman radiallahu anhu, even him, he used to practice that as well, right? So in fact, very close to the ground. Again, this is like we're talking about like a very high level of practicing Islamic ethics, right? And then for some people, it's really hard to understand. But I just want you to know it's out there, right? If you can practice, you should practice, because prophetically, it was practiced that way, right? So we're not getting into a discussion of permissibility, impermissibility. I'm not getting into that discussion. I'm getting from like haya point of view. Yeah. Okay. Another question: if you are both in the shower, the water is considered pure coming from the shower. Yeah, like the water which is which comes through the tap, it's pure water. So when they're with regards to if it's a shower head that you're taking, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okay, but if you're taking bath together in a tub, and you both entered, or anyone that enters into the tub in impure state, basically the person, the bath was fardh upon this person, and then he did not remove the impurity from his body, and then after ejaculation, and he sits or she's in there, and the entire tub water becomes kind of impure because of the impurity which is on your body. So like from an in terms of like impurity, removing the impurity with that water, yeah, the impurity is gone, but the impurity is still in the water, and you're sitting in the water which has been blocked off, right? And the quantity of the water is too small for it to not to become impure from the najasa which you just entered with, right? I just want to make that clear. So tub water, and if you block it off and you go in it within an impure state, you can clean yourself and whatnot, but at the end you got to dump water over your body at least once to make sure that your body has become pure.
So Sheikhuna, in the swimming pools which are shared, like many people go in there. So is that considered like a lot of water? Because sometimes you don't know, some people urinate in there. So I'm trying to ask that, is that clean, or are we clean?
So it's coming up right here in this little box here. So once I define that, then you can tell me whether it's pure, it's pure or not. Okay. But from the hygiene point of view, you should take a shower before and after jumping into a swimming pool. But we'll look at it from Sharia point of view. Okay. So najasa, impurity. there's najasa impurity is of two types, right? A small or insignificant volume of sorry, we're not talking about najasa. We'll talk about najas, impure water. Okay, najasa will come up. So a small insignificant volume of stagnant water that has come in contact with impurity, irrespective of whether the traces or signs of impurity have become apparent or not, becomes impure. Like the example I gave is of the tub. This whole section, just keep the tub example in mind. Okay. When traces of impurity become apparent, the water becomes impure whether the volume is substantial or insignificant. Keep this in mind. Whether the water is stagnant or flowing, it doesn't matter. What does that mean? Well, let's talk about that. Okay. The ruling of this water we need to keep in mind is that we cannot use this water to seek any sort of tahara, period. Okay. Now, the question is, what quantity are we looking at when we discuss like the water becomes impure when there is impurity mixed in it? Okay. Well, the scholars have deduced from different ahadiths that 10 by 10, 10 feet by 10 feet, if the water is that, has this much dimension, and the depth is a little different way. It's not based in inches or feet. They say that if one were to scoop out the water, the ground beneath the water would not become exposed. Like it won't be, not even temporarily exposed. So if I was to take both hands, I'm going to turn on my video so I can demonstrate this. Hopefully it won't mess around. So for example, can you guys see me? Okay, I just realized it's very dark in the room. Okay, so if I was to take both of my hands and then I try to scoop out the water, right? So the bottom, when I'm scooping out, immediately the floor that the water is sitting on, or the ground the water is sitting on, or it's on top of it, it doesn't become exposed, not even for like a small second, split of a second. That's how we calculate the depth, right? Okay. And then the dimensions are 10 by 10 feet, okay? Anything smaller than this and impurity falls in it, then we have to look at how much of an impurity it is that has fallen into it, okay? But 10 by anything that's greater than that, the side on which the impurity has fallen, around that area, you're not allowed to use that water, okay? But in different size, like 1 foot away from it, or like 5 foot away from it, or something like that, you're allowed to use that water. But the area in which that is immediately upon the najasa, for example, if there is a flowing river and it's shallow, like Chilliwack River, has anyone seen it, Chilliwack River? In Chilliwack, before you guys go to Cultus Lake, there's a river that flows there. That's very shallow, right? It's flowing, but it's shallow. Yes, no, yes. Okay. So, for example, if somebody's horse, or there's animal droppings in there, for example, like goat or a dog or a horse. Like dog is more practical because there's a lot of dogs in that river under the bridge, and the water is very shallow. So if there's dogs, dropping on dogs poo there, for the lack of a better word, then you're not allowed to perform wudu in the close proximity of that flowing river. You have to go you have to give a little bit of distance towards the upward side of the impurity, not towards the lower side. If you want to come towards, for example, the river is flowing from north to south, or east to west in that case. So you should move towards, if the dropping's in the middle, then you should move towards the west side. It's better to do it from the top rather than the water which is flowing this way. So you want to do it in the top. But if you want to do it from the bottom this way as well, then you move a little further down where you feel that, the water is not drawing in any impurity while it's moving towards you. Make sense? Okay. One way of figuring it out, yes.
So in the swimming pool, if you don't see any color change or smell, then you have to assume it's no one urinated.
So we will get to that. Okay, we will get to that. Swimming pools are a little tricky, but we will get to that. And then if one were to shake one edge of the water, like the body of water, the effects would not immediately be apparent on the other edge. Meaning, if you want to create ripples on one side, for example, if you shake the tub of water, and if you shake it, the ripples will come in from all sides, right? But if you're on a large pond, and if you like slap the water, it will create ripples, but those ripples are taking a very long time to reach the other edge. That's another way of figuring it out if the quantity of the water is large enough or not, right? Again, these are methods which have been put forth by fuqaha to establish whether the water is the quantity of the water is large enough for it to be rendered as pure water, even if there is impurity that has fallen in it. Make sense? Okay, moving on. Any questions? Okay. So water with which wudu is not permissible. Okay, water that is extracted from trees and fruit. So apple juice, mango juice, orange juice, I don't care, whichever is your favorite juice, right? So extracted from trees or fruits, or their synthetic fruit or synthetic flavors, all of that, nope. Okay, cannot make wudu because it's not called water anymore, brothers. It's called juice, right? It's called juice. So if something is not called water just because it's liquid, right? If you want to make wudu with ruh afza, right? For those who don't know what ruh afza is basically like a red syrup. It's got a lot of sugar in it, and it has some extracts from herbs, right? In Indian subcontinent, especially in the month of Ramadan, they mix it in. It's a dilute basically, and they mix it in mainly in milk, and then they consume it, right?
What
So
is the
it's a very
hukam of
thick.
doing the wudu and the ghusl with zamzam?
That's what do you mean, like hukm and wudu
Is
in
it
terms of
mustahab? Is it mubah? Is it makruh?
with zamzam water?
Yeah, ghusl and wudu.
It'll come up. I thought you like whether like you're asking something else, but that will come up as well. Okay, no problem. Whether you're allowed or not allowed, it will come up. Okay, and then gravy or soups. Okay, like simple way of understanding this is that if something is not called water anymore, we simply cannot perform wudu with it anymore. Does that make sense? Okay, this one's important. So water that has changed its color, smell, and taste. These three things: color, smell, and taste. Remember these in mind. Keep this in mind, please. Due to it having been mixed with something impure, as a result of which the water becomes thick. Okay, cannot make wudu with this water. But still keep these three qualities in mind. We will talk about these later on. So water from a container that something impure has fallen in, or an animal has fallen in and died, etc., like a little water drum, bucket, small pond, less than 20.9 square meters. So something smaller than that cannot do so. Okay, cannot use it. The water that has already been used for wudu or ghusl, we already talked about it. Water that has been contaminated by haram animals. Okay, there's a category of these. So anything you're not allowed to eat, any animal even after, even if you make, even if you do zabiha, right? And even then that animal, you're not allowed to eat the meat of it. For example, a donkey, right? So, no, I don't want to say donkey. Donkey is a debated thingy. There's a discussion. Well, which other animal that you're not allowed to eat? Like, for example, horse. Okay. So even if you make zabiha of it, you're not. Oh, no. I need to give an example of haram animal. Come on, help me out. I'm blanking out, guys. Haram animal.
Coyote?
Coyotes, okay, yeah, right. Okay, raccoon. There you go. Skunk. There you go. So all these are like haram animals, even if you make zabiha of it. So, yeah, if they is contaminated by them, then you cannot. So, like, if the water is contaminated, like for like a goat or a sheep, then the discussion changes altogether. Okay. Juice which has been extracted from any seed, rose, or any other herb. Okay, rose water is normally clear, but because it's not water anymore, it's called rose water. Hence the attribution. So you cannot perform wudu or ghusl with this. Water in which the trace of najasa is dominant. Okay, najasa means impurity. So water in which the najasa is dominant. For example, you're at a pond, right? And pond is larger than 10 by 10. That's why it's 11 by 11. But someone has dumped like a large amount of dung, like cow dung in it, right? So, and then basically it's basically covering more than half of that pond, right? Dominant najasa, meaning impurity, is dominant. So you're not, even though it's 11 by 11, you still cannot perform wudu from there, okay? Because it's covering more than half of it. Does it make sense?
Sheikhuna, sometimes, the ponds, they are
Mhm.
covered with algae, the green stuff all over the surface.
That's fine. That's not impure, right?
Okay.
Anything that's naturally grown, no matter what type of tree it is, I mean, like scientifically speaking, whether it's harmful, not harmful, we're not getting into that discussion, but naturally grown is not impure, right? In water.
But would it become makruh because of that?
Unless it changes the color and taste.
Yeah,
How does
it
it
changes the
change
color. The water becomes green.
Yeah, but does the taste change?
I don't know. I have not tasted it.
Yeah, neither have I. But I remember I highlighted 3 qualities for you guys: taste, smell, and color.
Whenever you highlight it, it disappears after you move down.
Right here. I mean, like, the reason why we haven't I didn't not leave it as highlighted because I want you guys to make at least some sort of notes, right? Okay, this is an important part of this is what he
No,
said.
sorry, I was not telling you to do it. I was just letting you
No,
know.
I'm just saying. So here and this here, color, smell, and taste. Just keep these 3 qualities
So
in
all
mind.
3 have to change in order for it to become.
I did not say that.
No, I'm asking.
No, we will talk about that.
Okay.
But I'm just saying keep these 3 qualities in mind. Okay. But obviously, when you lose all 3, like in juice, what happens? You lose all 3, right? So you're not allowed to use it. Bikhair. Where were we? Okay. When these animals drink from water, the water becomes impure najas. Dogs, pigs, like anything. Oh, this one's important. Any animal which eats flesh. Can you guys help me out? Name an animal which eats flesh.
Lion.
There you go. Okay.
Lioness.
So, yeah.
Cubs.
So, I'm sorry?
Cubs.
Yeah. So, all these animals, if they use the water, then if they drink from the water becomes impure. Here's another thing. This one is important. Okay. A cat, which immediately after eating a rat or mouse or mice, right? Depends how many it eats. Drinks water, the remaining water will also become impure.
How are we supposed to know? We are supposed to make a camera so we can see if the cat ate the mice or not?
Actually, that rule is you're only mukallaf of what you know. The knowledge which you do not have, you're not responsible for that. Okay. So, for example, if you come across pond water, right? Even if there was impure animal had used that water or drank that water, consumed that water, and you're not aware of it, you're not reliable or you're not responsible to know that. Right? Your
Is
job
that
is
only in
to
Fiqh Hanafi? Because I thought the the Hanbali is very strict in Tahara.
no, it's for everyone
Okay.
with regards to like the hukum of the water. You're only mukallaf of what you know. What you don't know, you're not responsible of that. Like to answer your question, if the cat, if it has eaten, a rat or a mouse or not. If you know it has done it and it comes to the water, right, then,
Unless after the cat drinks it, you see the tail of the mice in the water, then you know for sure.
I'm not sure like how you can figure this out. I'll leave that up to your imagination. But if it does, then it becomes impure. Then when these animals drink from water, it becomes makruh to use, okay? Just like reprehensible. Cats, with the condition that it had not just eaten a rat or a mouse, okay? The water becomes makruh. Najasa, meaning cows that eat filth, okay? Rats, lizards, hens, buffaloes, roaming hens, not domesticated ones, buffaloes, crows, eagles, etc. It just becomes makruh. Okay. All right. Another category, all types of water become impure after najasa has fallen into it, with the exception of the following two types of water: flowing water of rivers and seawater, large ponds of standing water, like a big drum and big pond, and we said 10 by 10. Okay. What is ma'ul qalil? Like abundant water, and then غير abundant water, like the water is not in abundance. Okay, less water. That's called al-ma'ul qalil. And then 10 by 10, that definition is of al-ma'ul kathir. Al-ma'ul qalil wal kathir. Okay. A pond of water that has an area of basically 20.9 square meters is regarded as ma'ul qalil. Okay. The ma'ul qalil will become najis, impure, if any najasa impurity falls in it, or if an animal falls in it and dies therein. Like animal dies, an animal falls in it, dies, like crows or sparrow or anything like that falls in it, dies, and then the whole water becomes impure, impermissible to use. Okay. If any of these animals drinks water from like al-ma'ul qalil, then the water will become najis, dogs, pigs, flesh-eating animals, or anything of that sort. Okay. If any of these animals drink from ma'ul qalil, the water will become makruh to use, makruh tanzihi: rats, lizards, roaming hens, buffaloes, eagles, crows that eat najasa, cats. And then water from which human beings and halal animals have drunk remains pure. Like if you, for example, a goat, right, drinks water from water, like that water does not become impure. Like if you drank water from like a bottle or something like that, it does not become impure because you drank it. Okay. But if an animal, if an animal that has a flowing blood, for example, birds, fowls, pigeon, cats, etc., they fall into ma'ul qalil and die, then the water becomes impure. Okay. Dying is the main part here. They die within the water, because once they die, the body becomes impure. Okay. Before that, their life is not impure. Those animals that are born in the water and live in the water, such as fish and frogs, etc., or those animals that have not flowing blood, such as flies, mosquitoes, wasps, lizards, etc., by them dying in water, the water does not become impure. So, Brother Imran, if a mosquito dies, don't say the water is impure, okay?
I'll note that down. Fatwa cancelled.
Yeah. But those animals that are born in the water, we talked about this, right? So, and then now we're talking about al-ma'ul kathir, abundant water. So quantity of water. Hey, do you guys need a break?
Can we just finish early, please?
Sure, we'll conclude with this, inshallah, then. Up to here. Okay, these 3 points, and then we'll call it a night. I should have taken a break so I can teach for full 2 hours. Khair. Okay, so al-ma'ul kathir, abundant water. What's abundant water? A quantity of water that is 225 square feet or 20.9 square meters or larger can be termed al-ma'ul kathir, substantial water. You guys understand? So this research was put in by Sheikh Adil, one of our previous teachers. Okay. The minimum depth of substantial water, al-ma'ul kathir, should be so much so that if one scoop of water in one's hand, the ground at the bottom does not become momentarily exposed. We kind of discussed all of these points, but they're reiterating it here. Okay. And the substantial water, meaning al-ma'ul kathir, will always be regarded as pure unless the taste. Oh, here it comes, brothers. Okay, meaning al-ma'ul kathir is regarded as pure unless the taste, color, or smell of impurity becomes apparent in the water. The taste, color, or smell. Okay.
So either one.
I'm sorry.
So if either one, taste, color, or
Well,
smell is there, then it
If all
becomes.
if all three are taking place, by default, it's impure. Okay.
No, no. What if it's one?
If it loses its color, but
Yeah.
the smell and taste are there, right? And they're normal, then it will not be impure.
Okay,
But
good.
if it loses its taste, but the color and smell are not there, then it will not become impure. So you guys understand? So let's
Has to be all
do,
three.
yeah, 3, 2, like 3, meaning if 2 out of the 3 things are correct, let me say this properly. Brother Omar plays basketball, like best out of 3. If best out of 3 is there, then it won't be impure. You guys understand? Like if 2 things are bad, then it'll be, you're not allowed to use it. If 1 thing out of the 3 things is bad, then you're allowed to use it. Make sense, Brother Imran? So best out
Yeah.
of 3.
Yeah, I get it. So,
And then
Sheikhuna, we had said before 10 by 10, which is 100 square feet, but now it's saying 225 square feet. So,
where is it?
yeah, in this box, in the box
Okay.
below, in the other blue box, yeah.
Yeah. Dimensions of 10 by 10, okay?
Yeah, that becomes 100 square feet, right?
Yeah. So I said this is what the original ruling is. And then I passed a comment here. Where'd it go?
No, it's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
So I said this research was conducted by Sheikh Adil, one of the teachers.
Which one do
Remember
we
that?
follow?
You 10 by 10 or 225 square feet. It's square feet, right? So it almost works out the same thing, give or take.
No, that one is 100 square feet. This is 225.
Which one's 100 square feet?
10 by 10 is 100, right?
Yeah, length times width, right?
Yeah.
And this is 225. Can you do the math and let me know what's the total of 225 square feet? It's squared feet. Or 20.9 square meters.
Okay.
So, and there's another question. Sorry to clarify, 1/3 or 2/3 can be used for Ma'ul Kathir. I'm sorry, can you like clarify your question, Sister Samira?
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of basketball, so the best out of 3 wasn't the
Like
most
if
easy example to understand.
yeah, sorry, if 2 out of 3 like our qualities are intact, then you're allowed to use the water. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so as long as not all 3 are present.
As long as 2 qualities are there out of these 3 qualities, As long as two qualities are there, then you can use it.
Well, it says 225 square feet. I think it's also a 15 by 15.
Yeah, 225, not 125. 15 by 15. Are you?
Exactly, yeah. Jazakallah, yeah. So Sheikh Adil used 15 by 15 dimension.
No.
The
so
original it was
both-
10 by 10.
No. So the Sheikh Adil has pointed out a research of other ulama where they say 15 by 15. But if you use 10 by 10 up here in this box here, brother, that's also fine.
Okay.
Okay.
But more, the second one is more ahwat.
Second one is just more on like a precautionary side, 225 square feet. So, but like you can go with minimum or maximum. It doesn't really matter because you're like, it's very rare that you'll be in this situation where you come across this, like in terms of practical thingy, because like for you to even measure, right, that area becomes a little difficult when you're traveling. So you just have to take an educated guess, right? If you're traveling, if you're gone hiking and you come across a pond, then you're just kind of taking your educated guess as to, is this greater than 10 by 10 or 15 by 10 or not? And the chance that there is like impurity in it as well, right? So it's very hard in practical life, but you should know the rulings nonetheless. Okay, so we will stop here for tonight, inshallah. Any questions that you guys want me to answer? Yes? If there's no questions, you don't have any questions, you can log off. And I'll stop the recording, inshallah.
So Sheikhuna, when we talked about the makruh tanzihi, if someone does it, do they get sin for that?
Makruh tanzihi?
Yeah.
I won't like answer that question in terms of the sins, but in terms of the categories, like you should understand that for now, right? In the ruling of makruh tanzihi and makruh tahrimi, in terms of the sins, that's a different discussion. It's a long discussion altogether. I think it will come in your aqidah, but I'm not sure where it comes, but it does come in one of the courses.
Oh, but wouldn't it come in fiqh? What does it have to do with aqidah?
So because, for example, the reason why it comes in aqidah, for example, the belief of, that you're supposed to have for a fard is that, what we believe the correct denies so the person who carries out on makruh tanzihi, even though this person's act will be correct, but just to do that will be pending. Makes sense. But it is in aqidah more categories. Why Sorry about that, folks. That's why I didn't want to use my video. My Wi-Fi was weak and it dropped. But stop the recording.